Okay, good morning. Welcome to the Fire Weather Briefing, August 6th, 2025. Todd here in Spokane and Harrison in Seattle. Just want to remind folks, this meeting is being recorded. By joining and participating in this session, consent is being given to the recording. Please keep cameras off per NOAA privacy statement. And let's get started. We have quite a bit going on. So we have current satellite imagery here, low pressure system off Vancouver Island, cold front moving in, and pretty much reached the Cascade Crest and is progressing eastward as we speak. A good cloud shield going on. Cool temperatures are anticipated today, and
Hey, Todd, I think you're muted.
sorry, on the current radar, we have a good cloud shield, good precipitation echoes in the radar. We've had precipitation reported as far east as Moses Lake. Also notice that the front, a little bit drier air behind the front, is also approaching the Cascades, and also a little bit more convective cloud cover up in northwest Washington.
Sorry, Todd, you're muted again.
Some reason it keeps every time I change the slide. All right. Precipitation amounts, we have 1/4 of an inch. An interior western Washington reported good amounts on the coast, and also wetting rains, gathering wetting rains on the Cascade Crest, at least in the South Cascades so far. And we will get additional precipitation as the day wears on in eastern Washington and eventually North Idaho. Okay, I just want to remind folks that the last 7 days we've had quite a bit of lightning. In case you've forgotten, it's good that we're getting precipitation, but holdovers may be a concern in the future as we dry out after this weather event. And also some changes in the drought status, especially for eastern Washington and the North Cascades, which have gone into extreme drought, and the central Idaho Panhandle has gone into exceptional drought, especially in Shoshone County. So drought status has worsened. And just the overall trend for the week, Wednesday through Tuesday for eastern Washington, North Idaho, with this system coming through. Initially, light rain will change to better chances of thunderstorms as we go on later this afternoon and evening. Scattered thunderstorm potential Thursday as the main body of the low pressure system moves through eastern Washington and North Idaho. So that's what we're looking for in the near term. And then a warming trend, hot and dry, and some breezy gap winds towards the end of the week. Harrison, anything you want to say about Western Washington?
Yeah, absolutely, Todd. So for us here in Western Washington today, it's going to be kind of the wetting rain with a slight chance of isolated thunderstorms. Most of the rain, as you saw on the radar slide a couple of slides ago, is mostly concentrated now into the Cascades, and that's where kind of I expect most of the precip to remain for the rest of the day today. Should be good relative humidity recovery next couple of days, but we will go into a warming and drying trend going through the weekend, with Monday being the warmest and driest day going into next week.
Right. Thank you. There we go. All right. So no hazards to speak of, no red flag warnings. Going into the weather for day one, here's a chance of wetting rain. High probabilities of wetting rain on the west side and increasing probabilities as we go into the evening tonight for eastern Washington and North Idaho, which is good to see. And then for day two, those precipitation chances of wetting rain increase for eastern Washington and North Idaho as we go into. It is going to be more showery type pattern, but scattered showers should collect in areas. Should get some better chances of heavier precipitation. Let's see. I want to cover everything here. Well, not quite everything, but one thing I do want to mention is the chance of probability of thunder from 11 a.m. until 11 p.m. tonight. We do have thunderstorm potential on the right side of the screen. Fairly widespread low potential, but higher chances in the mountains. And then one thing I do want to mention is minimum RHs are going to be well up today. And then going into day two, I do want to mention that there'll be a 20 to 25% drop in humidities going into Thursday. So don't get used to these high relative humidities today. And then by day three, we're looking at humidities back down below 30%. For Thursday, we're looking at I do want to point out the wind potential. Do have some gap winds for Thursday as well, gusts to 35-ish or so in Ellensburg for Thursday afternoon, and so the gap winds will be in force tomorrow afternoon. And moving forward, I do want to cover the warm up. We are looking at maximum temperatures by Monday into the mid 90s. So mid and upper 90s in the eastern Washington, southern parts of eastern Washington. So something to look out for with minimum humidities getting back down into the teens. So let's move on to QPF potential. On the west side, how confident are you of these QPF estimates, Harrison, over on the west side?
Yeah, based on what we're seeing this morning, we're not quite hitting, some of the MBM forecast expectations we saw. We think, in terms of wetting rain for, west of I-5 today, maybe another 2/10. It's really going to be mostly concentrated in the Cascade, especially if we get any convection going into the afternoon. Potentially you see some locally heavier rates and potentially another half inch to an inch in some of those heavier rain spots possible today.
Thank you. And on the east side, we are looking at, we saw the potentials for wetting rain, but at least some sprinkles, modifying of what our hot and dry weather we've had recently, our warm and dry weather, is we have high confidence of. And then going into day two, tomorrow, Thursday, with those showers, you can see the estimated precipitation amounts, good swath of 1/10 of an inch or better. And then 1/100 of an inch. Every bit helps, even in the fine fuels. Going to the trends or creek, would you like to speak to this, Harrison?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Todd. The main thing here is just, like I said, good relative humidity recovers are expected through the first part of the weekend. Once we get into that stronger high pressure ridge pattern going later into Sunday through Tuesday, that's when we start to see the relative humidities dry out a little bit, as well as the temperatures increase, potentially some upper 80s to low 90s across parts of the south interior, and maybe even some warmer temps getting into the Cascades going into early next week. And then it looks like for now it's going to cool off after we get past Monday.
Right, the pattern does start to shift. The high pressure ridge does start to break down Tuesday on into the middle of next week. On the east side, I do want to highlight Douglas Ross, pointing out we do have quite a bit of an increase in wind going Thursday afternoon. That is a typically breezy area for Thursday, and then also similar trend on all of these forecasts. It's a warming trend, and then followed by a little bit of breakdown of the ridge, flattening of the ridge, actually not really a breakdown, but flattening of the ridge, a more westerly flow, a little bit cooler for Douglas, and then up by Nespelem, where we do have some incident management activities, similar trend, very cool for the first couple days, then a warm up, and falling RHs as we go into the weekend and the beginning of next week. And not to leave the Idaho Panhandle out up by the lightning fire. We do have some cool days, and just be aware that the warming and drying trend is going to be impacting that area as well. Not really a strong signal for wind event, but the winds will be up on a daily diurnal basis. The 8 to 14 day CPC outlook still has us kind of in a I wouldn't say a trophy pattern, but more of a storm track type pattern for the Pacific Northwest, at least for Washington and North Idaho. So better than average chance of above normal precipitation and near normal temperatures, which is still pretty warm this time of year. And one thing I do want to mention, if you are managing some resources out there, I do want to show the progression this afternoon. If you look at the yellows, greens, and blue reflectivity forecast for central Washington, you can see the convection later this afternoon hitting the north central and central Cascades. And then that progresses through in the afternoon with the potential for showers and thunderstorms this evening, developing over the central basin and progressing into eastern Washington and North Idaho overnight. And then we will reset Thursday noon onward for another round of thunder as that low pressure trough comes through. That concludes our briefing. I will stop the recording and we will take any questions if there are any.